guess if you're going to throw out your favorite, I'll throw out my favorite, which happened to be the last screener I actually watched. And I had one more left, but I was just so moved by this one that I didn't want to try to watch anything after it. So I won't mention what movie I didn't watch after it. But I just couldn't help myself. This one was called Genius of Marian. It's a documentary. It deals with Alzheimer's. And it focuses... It kind of tricks you into thinking that this is going to be a documentary based on a book about a famous painter, this famous female painter. And what it comes down to is it comes down to a daughter who is the daughter of the painter, her struggle with Alzheimer's, which is really interesting because her mother also had Alzheimer's. And so it sort of creates this line between the two, this connection, because her mother painted her daughter a lot, and her daughter has a lot of those paintings, like in their house and in a storage room, and just beautiful works of art, just amazing paintings. Especially, this family did a lot of vacationing on the beach. In sort of the East Coast, upper, northern East area, and so you get these paintings, and then you also get the stories along with them, and the family videos. So it just sort of does this really beautiful job of sort of, here's the painting, and here just happens to be the film, sort of at that exact same moment, and you get to compare, and then there's like, here's a photo that we took on that same day. Here's the painting of that photo that's like 100 times more detailed than the photo could be. Like it's just it's almost like seeing life in HD. Yeah. Like if that's even possible. Like it's realer than real. It's just so well done. And the filmmaker happens to be the son. So he's the son of the daughter who has Alzheimer's. So this would be his grandmother that this movie is supposed to be about. This Marian character. They call her Manna, not Nana. It's Manna, which I thought was really interesting. And so you come to find out that Manna had Alzheimer's, and then of course her daughter, I think is at 61, was writing a book about her, and she learns that she has Alzheimer's, and of course she sort of says, "No, I don't have it." Like the early signs, like, "No, I don't have it. This is not happening," and then it's happening. Like you're like in the middle of it. You just see these shots of her just staring into blank space, and it just just breaks your heart because this woman is full of life. Like when she's in her own mind, she's connecting with people. You see these paintings of her as a teenager. You learn that she was an actress and then a model, and then sort of a public, not speaker, but sort of, she did a lot of service work and stuff like that. And her husband, you find out that he not quit his job, but he stepped away from his job so that he could take care of her on a day-to-day basis. And you sort of see his struggles with having to take care of her, and the awkward situations of, when you get married, you never think at some point that you're going to have to like put deodorant on your wife. And you see that, and it's just, it breaks your heart, but it's just so well done where it's just all subtly happening. And you start realizing like, oh, I see where they're going here. And it just, beautiful soundtrack that has this theme that sort of plays throughout the movie, and it comes in and comes out. A lot of handheld shots. I can't say that it's like the most like shockingly detailed, best shot documentary I've ever seen. But what the guy does, you kind of find out that like early on, like that we bought you a camcorder, and this is what he did. He just went around and like shot everybody, and you could tell that this family was very sort of in that. And it's really interesting because that's how my family was. Yeah, we have a lot of home videos, whereas my wife, no home videos. So like I'm just. Like you kind of said, a movie was made for you like this, just like there's just hours and hours of Thompson footage of just stupid stuff that could easily be used against me in whatever documentary my life is eventually going to be about, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, Jason, he's a murderer, and here's all the weird murdery stuff he did as a child.
We don't have the portrait yet.
Right?
Though.
Not yet. Not yet. Not that you know of. The clues are all inside the podcast. And and that's just making light of it, but it's just so well done. I can't believe that this artist isn't more well known, because her art is just mind blowing.
Yeah.
Good.
What's the name of the film again?
It's called Genius of Marian.
Genius of Marian. Okay.
And so that's what the book is supposedly going to be called. But again, as the film progresses, her battle with Alzheimer's just really kicks in and just goes and goes and goes and goes. And then, a really interesting contrast in the film is his sister, of course, her daughter, has a child. So they have their firstborn, and then sort of more recently has a second child. And you see the contrast between, like, oh yeah, like, you can hold the baby, that's fine, like, go ahead and hold the baby. She I think this was like just before she finds out she has Alzheimer's, and then like now she has full blown Alzheimer's, and all the daughter is worried about is her mom going to freak out whenever she holds the baby, and you just see these. So it's like she's like right there, she's like right there with her daughter, like, oh, this is great, and then now she's just sort of sitting over on a bench, just like staring into space, and when this wonderful occasion is happening, it's. So she already had a son, and this is her daughter. So like now she has a boy and girl, and it's just so heartbreaking. But and it's heavy. Like, in that, because I kind of watched 3 in a row, and this was the last one, and I was like, I had to, I stopped, and I was less like, whoa, like that. That is it. That is it for Jason today. But I really hope that this gets around more, because I think a lot of people need to see it. And not to say that Alzheimer's, out of all the things that I watched, because obviously it seemed like I had a theme, like these major either social or medical issues that people are dealing with. And it was weird. You saw me. I randomly just was like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, here you go. And even the 4th documentary I watched wasn't about anything. It was a whole nother thing. But they all kind of had these themes about life, and life is short, and do what you can and to make a difference. And man, like, this was I have never seen a generational documentary. I've just never seen that much family life built into one single film. And I don't think that this guy had done any other stuff before. And it was of course, when sort of a thing is when you're watching screeners, sometimes the movies aren't complete. So it just said credits.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I really wanted to know more about how this film was pieced together. Yeah. But it just said credits, and you're just like, okay, like, that's just kind of how some screeners are. That's kind of how they get submitted sometimes. Yeah. And I actually saw Heartland tweet something about this last night, and so I know they're sort of championing it a little bit, and it does seem like it's getting around a little bit more. So certainly hope it comes around to the cinema, or at least comes around to the point where people can watch it, because it's just such a moving film. But it makes you not ever want to get Alzheimer's. Yeah. But it just makes you want to hold those people that you have in your life closer that do have it, because it's such a destruction of life. Like, it just destroys the mind. And it's just heartbreaking, because you get to see this woman in all aspects of her life, and when she's on, and she's not, and it's just it's hard to talk about, because it just left such an impact. And this was like last night, so it's still very fresh. But I might revisit this one in the future, just because it's I felt bad because my wife had something to do, and I think she would have really liked it too. So definitely one to watch for.
Yeah. A Place for Film is recorded at WFIU Studios in Bloomington, Indiana.